the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. With me, oh you know him, Shaquille O'Neal. You know this guy too, Kenny the Jet Smith. And tonight, it'll be the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the San Antonio Spurs at AT&T Center. It's been a tough bunch of games lately for San Antonio. It's been a rough ride for them so far. We're a decent ways into the season now, and they're still stuck on one win. They've got nowhere to go but up. At least they can say that much. Here in the early part of the season, Kenny, we've already seen a few teams outperform expectations. What can they do to keep rolling?
Just keep playing to your strengths, and you never let up. You can't change what you're doing now. It's working.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
And to add on to what my good friend Kenny is saying,
Am I not your friend?
But you didn't say anything.
Yes,
Kenny
I did.
said something. All right. Anyway, can't get overconfident like you're doing right now. Even though you're winning, you keep looking for things that you can do better.
Man.
And you are my good friend, Ernie. I love you.
Thanks, Shaq. Now, let's send it over to Kevin Harlan.
Downtown San Antonio, Texas. This bridge spans the Riverwalk, not too far from our location tonight. Greetings, everyone. Glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by the talented analyst tandem of Greg Anthony and Chris Webber. David Aldridge is on our sideline. Glad you can join us. We're live in San Antonio, Texas at the AT&T Center. This is the stomping grounds of the Spurs. And, of course, LaMarcus Aldridge. His presence will be sorely missed by his teammates.
Yeah, no question that it's a risky deal to make because it's the kind of move that can turn a team's fan base against the front office. But trading one of the most popular players on the team is always risky no matter what you get in return.
And David Aldridge is standing by for our pregame report. David, good evening.
Well, hello there. Spurs coach Greg Popovich made the top 5 in all-time coaching wins last season. When asked about it, Pop said, "It's the most important thing in my life. My grandchildren can take a hike." I don't think he was being serious, guys.
Great stuff, DA. Thanks. And with the long season ahead, for the best teams, Chris, you get the feeling they wish the playoffs could start tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we see that with Golden State last year? It looked like they were a little bored during the season.
Right.
But what happens during the playoff season? That's why we call it 2 different seasons. But once you reach that elite level, Kevin, everything you do is geared toward winning a championship. Everything you do. And so that's why it's so fun watching the best of the best.
And Golden State showed that, of course, last year. And it's going to be San Antonio off the tip. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Taking a look at the Grizzlies. Jermichael Green is out there with Rab. Then there's Anderson. Then it's Garrett Temple. And it's Conley in at the point guard position. The San Antonio Spurs able to put the first points up on the board. Offline with his 3. DeRozan scanning the floor. Pass to Gasol. Bledsoe kicks to Middleton. Passes it to Gasol. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shot's good by Middleton.
And what about the way Gasol sees the floor? So gifted at whipping the ball all over to the open man.
Conley finds Green. Here's Rab. Now the pass to Conley. That one off the back iron and out.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look. And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Well, that's just a good example of why the score is what it is. I mean, they need to protect the rim a lot better than that. The defense recognizing the situation and getting right in his face once he got close to the bucket.
And DeRozan kicks to Bledsoe. Lets a floater go, and the layup is up and in. Bledsoe's got his first basket of the night.
Lights out here, right out of the gate. Perfect 4-4 from the floor.
Back to Conley. Banked in off the glass.
He's so crafty near the bucket. You give Conley a little room to work with, he'll do his thing.
The Spurs have gone 4 of 4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Tries from 10. He can't hit that time. And it's Memphis the other way.
Well, they weren't going to stay perfect forever, but still shooting 80% from the floor to start the game.
Temple the pass to Conley. Here's Rab, guarded by Bledsoe. Down low. And Anderson gets it to go.
And that's a perfect setup. Solid screen, defender can't avoid it. Opens up a clear path to the bucket.
Bledsoe kicks to Middleton. Wants to get it to DeRozan and does.
And with DeRozan getting traded, he said he felt backstabbed by Raptors management after they said he wouldn't be traded. At the end of the day, people will do what's best for their own position, whether they're a GM or a player. But you better believe they'll love DeRozan in Toronto forever, no matter what jersey he wears.
Shooting 2.
That's good from DeMar DeRozan. And last summer, after 9 terrific seasons in Toronto, DeMar DeRozan traded to San Antonio.
And guys, you have to feel for the sudden change for DeRozan. Gave Toronto some of their best years. At the same time, happy that DeRozan has gone to an organization that has proven success over the years.
Both free throws good from DeRozan. Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Here's Conley, and it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Bledsoe. Ring shot on the way.
And you can see they're struggling from the field.
That's no good. Misses his first shot of the night. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Conley kicks to Temple. From outside the arc. The rebound by the Spurs.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Bledsoe outside. Middleton for 3. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assist. Middleton's got 7 points.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
So timeout called here. The first for Memphis. Along with the rest of their troubles last year, the Grizzlies had a very hard time stretching the floor.
Yeah, and they were 25th in the league in three-point percentage. Teams did not have to respect them from out beyond the arc. And that made an already pedestrian offense even more sluggish.
All right, a chance to look at some stats for Temple. How his last 10 games have gone. He's getting around 8 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
He hustles, does the little things, just a good complimentary guy who you need on your team.
Now Bledsoe following the miss by Michael Conley from deep. And it's DeRozan missing.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over. Aggressive coming out of the gate here, guys. Wow.
Yeah, you got to love it. Everything's working. Offense, defense, already a big lead.
Green, the pass to Rab. Pass to Conley. And the foul called on Pau Gasol. That is his first foul of the game. Chris, in football, you have the franchise tag. It allows a team to keep a superstar by delaying his free agency. Would that work in the NBA?
I'm not sure if that would work in the NBA. It would be what else would reward this player in the franchise tag? Does it allow freedom for other players to come? I think that we're going to have to address some of these issues as time goes on, especially in a place like Golden State where they have so many great players there. But one of the great things about the NBA is the freedom of movement, and I don't think that we've seen really any teams get hurt too bad by the superstar leaving if they've acknowledged he's going to leave and made a trade for him. It is when that they don't acknowledge, a la Orlando with Shaq, a la a couple of other teams, and they don't acknowledge that this guy may leave, that you truly end up with nothing. So I'm not sure about that franchise tag yet, Kevin. The NBA is doing great. Players are moving around, and we're going to need some other teams to combat the dominant team overall.
Good on the shot. Bledsoe's got his second bucket tonight.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
Well, I love how they've done it. They've built this huge lead with points in the paint, dominating physically.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. And Eric Bledsoe, a player who many thought might be a great fit in Milwaukee, but that wasn't the case.
And I'm not sure if it was a play style issue or something else. Fact is, they moved him in the offseason after only a half season of trying things out. Certainly one of the more surprising moves in a wild summer.
Now, here's Green. 17 points for him last game against Dallas.
Don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
DeRozan with it. Now Green defending.
Wow, he just does everything right there except hit the layup.
Anderson outside. He dishes it to Conley. Back to Anderson. Trying to get something going. Offensive rebound. Outside Conley. Puts up a three. San Antonio with the rebound. Gasol's got his fifth rebound in this one.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Now here's Bledsoe. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against New Orleans.
Yeah, and his offense fueled him on D2. He was more than a handful on that end, piling up the steals.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Conley dishes to Green. He kicks it to Temple. Conley for three. Trains the three-pointer. Conley's got 5 now.
Very aggressive in terms of looking for his shot. 9 attempts already, but only able to knock down 2.
Right side, DeRozan. Back to Bledsoe. Offensive rebound, Spurs. Another shot, and there's the nice layup by Gasol. Gasol's got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
And here is Conley. We saw him with 19 points his last outing. Green taking his time here. 6 on the shot clock. Unloads. Another miss by Conley.
It's been a really tough quarter for him. I mean, he cannot get his shots to drop.
DeRozan gets the bucket.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. Yeah, you see it now on the scoreboard.
Yeah, particularly on offense, where they've been completely in sync. Terrific first quarter.
Here's Temple. He's coming off a 16-point game against Dallas.
And one of the big ways he came through was at the foul line. They couldn't contain him. He was equally effective at scoring baskets as well as getting to the line. And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Anderson against Middleton. Kicks it to DeRozan. Pass to Medu. Middleton on the wing. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Near the three-point line, it's Bledsoe. And it's wide right. It's off the rim. Anderson outside. Passes to Conley. Here's the floater. And Gasol sends it back.
And really, Gasol does an incredible job getting his hands up in the air, which results in a ton of rejection.
So it's the Grizzlies now after Chris Middleton missed from long range. Here's Temple, 11 feet out, and he hits it. DeRozan with it. 10 points for him. Middleton outside. Gasol kicks to DeRozan. And it's out of bounds to the Spurs as San Antonio retains possession. Let's check out the NBA's top producers from three-point land. Number 1, Chris Middleton.
He is as automatic as they come from behind the arc, and that shooting ability makes him an option every trip down the floor.
Out to DeRozan. Back to Gasol. Bledsoe outside. The pass to DeRozan. Clock is at 3. From deep.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively.
Can't get it to go. He's made 4 and just missed his 4th. Feeds to Temple. Nice D from DeRozan.
You know what? His finishing ability is not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force.
Now, here's Gasol. He's coming off a 10-point game against New Orleans.
Don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
Anderson against Gasol. Anderson finds Conley. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Conley's got 7.
Really taking it to the defense. Whenever he's penetrating, Conley, he won't be denied.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Over the last few years, JaMychal Green has seen more and more time with the starters.
Well, he's shown he can be a productive finisher for this team. He's a solid rebounder with a good work rate. He needs to improve his defense, as that is a weak spot of his game right now.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Pirtle, he is checked in for Gasol. Bellinelli comes in for Chris Middleton. And Walker subbed in for DeMar DeRozan. Now here is Pirtle. Pass to Medu. They could use a bucket. Count the bucket. And he's got a free throw coming up as well.
Attacking the rag to great effect.
First personal foul, team second.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
One shot, gentlemen.
Here's Harrison. He's coming off a 22-point game against Dallas. He kicks to Caspi. Back to Harrison. And the 3 ball is good.
And Caspi is very gifted at getting the ball to his teammates. A selfless player who keeps his eye out to dish the rock whenever he can.
Bledsoe passes to Bellinelli. And a wide open look for Walker. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Here's Harrison, guarded by Bledsoe. Harrison scanning the floor. And it's Brooks in the corner, just 5 on the clock. Here's Selden. Eric Bledsoe grabs the miss. Spurs leading by 12. Kicks to Walker. 3-pointer. And so it's San Antonio up by a dozen here at the end of the quarter. What a night they've had in terms of their shooting. Everything dropping in for them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. DeMar DeRozan last season opened up about his battles with depression, hoping to have a positive impact on others.
A lot of people ashamed to talk about it. Even myself, for a long period of time, people wonder why I was such a quiet guy, and that was part of it, not wanting to speak out about it, not wanting other people to know exactly what I was going through. But you get to a certain age where you feel like it's all about helping others. It's not about you just being a selfish person about the things you're going through. Other people going through stuff as well.
Yep, you love the honesty and the bravery to step forward and tell his emotional story.
Yeah, he opened a dialogue. Kevin Love following his lead to talk about anxiety. Athletes as public figures can have a broader impact than just entertaining, and we see it over and over again.
And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And, you know, the Spurs have been rolling right along, haven't they?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Yeah, closing down the lane, closing out on perimeter shooters. Interesting first quarter.
Medu is out there with Bellinelli. Then there's Pirtle, and it's Walker in a two-guard. So that's who San Antonio starts the second with. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey, guys. Well, Marc Gasol is the more fiery of the Gasol brothers. Pau Gasol says, I sugarcoat things a little more than Marc. He's more emotional, more direct. And Marc said, when a mistake happens on defense, I know you're not concentrating. I don't allow that. He knows controlling his frustration is important. He says, I'm working on it. Guys?
Part of leadership, DA. Thank you. And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for the Spurs. They led by as many as 18 points. Pass to Bellinelli. Here's the three. Drops in the tray. Bellinelli's got 6.
The outside shooting of Bellinelli really opens up the floor for everyone else. His stroke from outside is just straight cash.
To the left side wing. Selden kicks to Ram. Back to Selden. And he gets it to go. Selden's got his first points of the game.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
And it's Pirtle at the elbow. 11 feet away. Off the left rim and out. Last game for the Spurs. They want to turn it around after the loss to the Pelicans. And there's the feed to Brooks. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Beautiful lead pass. The finisher never has to break stride.
And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And Forbes kicks to Bellinelli. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. Bellinelli's got 8 points here in this quarter. The Grizzlies trail by 14. Timeout called. The Grizzlies. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
And that was a stinker. I mean, that's one of those games where you really can't find anything that they did well. The game just got out of hand and really just a shaky performance across the board.
Man, the only surprise is that the margin wasn't greater. I mean, somehow they managed to hang around despite their lack of effort, Greg.
Quincy Pondexter, he's checked in for Medu. Selden kicks to Harrison. Now Caspi. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Dallas.
Oh, well, his rebounding stood out, too. He gave them a big lift on the boards.
Selden, good on the 13-footer. Selden's got his second basket of the night.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Walker finds Bellinelli. Here is Forbes. Pass to Pirtle. Bellinelli against Brooks. The shot by Bellinelli. No good. The Grizzlies trail by 12. Caspi passes to Harrison. Yes, that goes in. Harrison's got 5 now.
And they are attacking the rim and getting great results.
Here is Forbes. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. And Walker kicks to Forbes. Off target from three-point range. For Memphis, they've gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second quarter. Here's Harrison. 5 points in the game. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a three-point play chance for him.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
The Grizzlies shooting their first free throw of the game right now. Pau Gasol's checked in for the Spurs. And Memphis also making a switch. Green, he's checked in for Ram. Everyone seems to suffer small injuries, C-Webb, over the course of a season. Who does the best, you think, at battling through those minor bumps and bruises and injuries and still continues to play well?
You know what, Kevin? I can't answer that question because whoever does it does not let us know also that they're hurt.
They hide it. Yeah, good point. You're right.
Because the main guys that get through it, they're not going to tell you.
Good point. Here's Harrison following the three-pointer by San Antonio. Brooks outside. And there's the pass to Green. Over Gasol. Will not go. This is off the front iron. San Antonio leading by 10. Caspi gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
Oh, he's not happy to pick up a second foul. This early in the game, he's got to be careful now.
DeMar DeRozan. He's checked in for Bryn Forbes. Michael Conley. He's checked in for Memphis. And here is Pondexter. 11 points for him in that last game against New Orleans. Pass to Bellinelli. Shot clock at 5. Lets it go with a 3. The shot off that time. Now Memphis takes it the other way. They're getting their first look of the season at San Antonio in this one.
2 division rivals facing off tonight. They'll see one another 4 times this season.
Now, here's DeRozan following the miss by Michael Conley.
And you want to talk about high-volume scores. Just look at what DeRozan's doing tonight. He's been on a mission, putting his mark on this game in a big way.
Now, here's Brooks. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. From deep. Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut to just 9 points on the basket from Mike Conley.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
Here's Bellinelli. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against New Orleans. Gasol looking around, fires from deep. But they get it back. Tries again. And the nice bucket inside from DeRozan. DeRozan's got 14.
Well, it's nice to have an option like him every time down the court.
Here's Harrison. Bellinelli is covering. From downtown, another miss by Conley.
He'll be beating himself up if they can't come back because he is not carrying his weight at the offensive end.
Rejected by Gasol.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
And Bellinelli kicks to Gasol. Back to Bellinelli. For 3. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Bellinelli's got 11 here in this quarter alone.
This is an amazing run he's on. It's like he's been the only guy on the floor this quarter.
It's stolen by DeRozan. Pondexter with it. Now here's Bellinelli. Now Pondexter. 6 to shoot. He kicks it to Bellinelli. High post shot. That's short off the rim.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That just shows you can do everything right sometimes, but still get the wrong result.
Now here's Brooks. Pass to Conley. Outside, Green. And another miss by Memphis. San Antonio leading by 14. Here's Pondexter. Feeds it to DeRozan. And the shot goes in. DeRozan's got 16.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
And defensively, you know he's feeling good right now. And as the opposing team, you better adjust your scheme accordingly.
Conley gets the bucket.
A real weapon of Conley's. I mean, he has a floating jump shot down pat. It's almost unguardable.
And the Spurs now in the post-Kawhi Leonard era of the franchise. Greg, how do they recover, do you think?
If any team can survive losing a player of Kawhi's caliber, it's got to be the Spurs. They have good depth, got a good return in the trade, and players will step up. Won't be the power they once were for a while, but they'll rebound in no time.
Here is Conley after the basket by San Antonio. That's tipped, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by DeRozan.
And checking out the numbers here for Harrison. How last month turned out for him, averaging 9 points per game, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. And the numbers won't wow you, but I like the effort he brings to the table each and every night.
He hustles, does the little things, just a good complimentary guy who you need on your team.
Spurs leading by 16. The wide open look here for DeRozan. And out of bounds as Memphis gains possession. And a quick look now at how the Memphis Grizzlies' schedule is shaping up. On Friday, they'll be playing against Lou Williams and the Los Angeles Clippers. Then on Sunday, they'll go up against Kristaps Porzingis and the New York Knicks.
And for that Raptors game, it's going to be a bit of a measuring stick for them. See just how they stack up with a team that most would feel has the edge.
And you see the confidence, even amongst the trees. Conley possesses a cool head.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Middleton against Brooks. Tries from 10. And that one hits back iron.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
Anderson finds Brooks. Outside, Green. Here's Temple. DeRozan defending. Memphis needs to get off a shot here. Brooks dishes to Conley. That 3 off the mark.
Well, I mean, I think he better come up with some different ways to get his points tonight because the 3, not one of them, ain't working.
Now here is Pirtle. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Conley against Bledsoe. Baseline try. Conley grabs the miss. The Grizzlies trail by 14. Anderson passes to Temple. Kicks it to Brooks. 52 seconds left to play here in the half. And so it's Bledsoe with it, bringing it up for the Spurs. They led by as many as 18 points. They get it back. Pirtle, the pass to Gasol. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line. Gasol's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And it's Brooks in the corner. And again, Memphis no good. Here's San Antonio. They're on a 16-7 run. And it's Pirtle that time on the assist from Eric Bledsoe. And the Spurs lead by 18.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Conley feeling it out, and the foul on Eric Bledsoe. That's his first foul.
Substitution on the court.
Outside Conley. Over Bledsoe. Conley gets the bucket. Conley's got 16.
Oh, such an outstanding shooter. Pressure doesn't get to Conley. In fact, you could argue it makes him better.
And so it's San Antonio in command with a 16-point lead as the buzzer sounds. They've been playing some ferocious defense. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Chris Middleton. Chris, a big effort from you guys in the first half. How do you keep that momentum going?
Come out with energy, just try to keep pushing the ball and get stops.
We know that's Coach's emphasis, Chris. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, it's good to have you back. You're watching the 2K Sports Halftime Show. This right here is Kenny the Jet Smith. This right here is Shaquille O'Neal. Me, I'm just Ernie. DeMar DeRozan putting in some serious work for the team tonight. He had 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. The first 2 quarters tonight looked a lot like what we saw from him in his last game. Kenny, what was your take on San Antonio?
Well, Ernie, for years we've been talking about DeMar DeRozan's improvement, but he's arrived. His size, his quickness make him a tough cover, so he ends up taking a lot of free throws. And when the offense can't produce a good look, his one-on-one ability takes over.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Grizzlies.
Ernie, I don't use this word a lot because, one, I can't spell it, but it was definitely a subpar effort for them on the glass. That hurt. They're serious about cutting into this deficit. It's gut check time. Ugh, you hear that, Ernie? I'm hitting my gut. Ugh, you got to check your gut, Ernie. Ugh, gut check time, Ernie.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. A fantastic game from DeMar DeRozan so far.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him. A scoring machine here in that first half.
Oh, well, he's a tricky cover. He does a good job of sensing the defense, making the right move at the right time.
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. Tipping off the second half, here's J.B. Bickerstaff's 5. Anderson is out there with Jermichael Green. Then it's Conley. Then it's Garrett Temple. And it's Rhea in at the 5. Drains it from beyond the arc. Conley's got the first points of the second half up on the board for the Grizzlies.
Look, Mike Conley, he's the kind of point guard who does all of the little things. Smart, solid on offense and defense, and consistent with production. He's a true floor leader. I mean, his impact, it goes beyond the numbers, way beyond the numbers.
Here's Medu, and Jermichael Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Pau Gasol is checked in for San Antonio.
Substitution for the Spurs.
Pau Gasol. It's stolen by Green. Left side Anderson. Passes it to Rab. And the foul called on Pau Gasol. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Personal foul.
And Chris, for Conley, it took some time for him to grow into the leader he's become.
And think about this, foolishly, so many people thought Conley might be a draft bust early in his career. Think about that. I mean, it took him a few seasons to become comfortable with his game in the NBA, as some players do. I mean, he's done nothing but improve and refine his game since entering the league.
Now here's DeRozan. 6 on the shot clock. Gasol passes to Medu, and Jermichael Green picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That's his second personal foul.
On defense, Memphis. They haven't given up any points here in the second half.
Yeah, Kevin, and the length the speed, the athleticism. Conley has the perfect mix of physical attributes to annoy shooters.
Count it. Good. Anderson's got his second basket of the night.
You can't find much better shot than that one.
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Outside Gasol. And the pass to Medu. 5 to shoot. And no good that time. Great D that time from Green. Anderson outside. Knocked loose. Here's Conley. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And you got to love just how smart of a point guard Mike Conley is. You never get the sense he is forcing anything with the ball and keeps it moving around to his teammates. Very aware of his spacing and the spacing of others while running that offense.
Two shots.
The first free throw is good. And Conley, who is so good with space and timing on offense, seems to always find a way to score inside.
I mean, he has that great floater to lean on for scoring. And the only thing you want from Conley is health. Has had a few too many injuries to ignore the last few seasons. This team is so visibly better when he is healthy and on the floor.
And so Mike Conley nails both of them. You know, when it comes to ongoing contract negotiations, C-Web, how distracting did you find it for those players and for yourself to deal with all that going on?
It can be very distracting if you allow it to take over. What I would suggest for players in those situations, whether you're a restricted free agent or a free agent, I would give you one piece of advice, and I think LeBron has epitomized this. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about what team or what pending teams or what city you like to go swimming in or you and your wife visit in the summer, because all that does is create confusion. And all it does is send a message to fans and other players that maybe you're thinking about something that you can't control at that time. And so usually I think you should go introspective. You should work as hard as you can to improve and to get better. But that is something that definitely can distract you. And so hopefully you have a great layer of people that can be barriers from kind of the outside noise. The contract is going to be what it's going to be, and the only way you can continue to prove your worth is by going out there executing every day on the court.
Good stuff. Let's now pause to take a look at the scoring breakdown between the front and back court of tonight's contests for the Grizzlies.
And it's been guard play, which really has shouldered the burden offensively here. They'd like a bit more production from the front court, but in the meantime, this backcourt has kept them in the game.
Now, here's DeRozan. He's got 16. Outside Gasol. Here's Medu. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Medu's got 7.
They needed that. I mean, they were getting a little tense after starting the half 0 for 3.
Here's Temple. DeRozan defending. Outside Conley.
Spurs foul.
Grizzlies making a switch here. Selden's checked in.
Foul. Substitution for the Grizzlies. Wayne Selden.
Third quarter of basketball here, and just a little under 3.5 minutes gone by. Conley against Bledsoe. Bledsoe with the defensive effort.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Middleton outside. And DeRozan kicks to Bledsoe. Hits it from three-point range. He has 7.
He can be a forgotten man in their offense sometimes, but the D still has to keep an eye on him.
Anderson against Middleton. It's Anderson with the drive.
And you watch Kyle Anderson out there. They call him slow-mo for how he moves on the court. Just one of those jack-of-all-trades type of players on offense, and wasn't known for his defense, but has put in a lot of work to improve in that area.
First trip to the line for him here.
Shooting 2.
And he makes the first. And the Spurs making a change here. Walker's checked in. Memphis also making some changes. Caspi, he's checked in for Green. And Andrew Harrison subbed in for Mike Conley. And both free throws good for Anderson. And here's Bledsoe. He's got 7 on the sideline. Let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, guys, we see new players coming into prominence for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, Greg Popovich gives his veterans credit for accepting it gracefully and helping the young guys be successful. He says it's a tribute to their character and awareness. Kevin?
They certainly have established a great culture in San Antonio. Really something. DA, thank you. The Spurs have gone 3 for 3 at the line tonight. Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Bellinelli comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Bryn Forbes in for Eric Bledsoe.
One shot, mind the lanes.
Free throw good, Gasol. And with Anderson, the defense has been a focus for him the last few seasons.
And even though Anderson doesn't get up and down the floor fast, he still has quick hands and feet. Is being asked to guard some of the top forwards in the league for this team and wants players to try and shoot over him so he can use his length. Considers it a win if his assignment takes a jumper and doesn't get around him.
Here is Forbes. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. That's a 2 from Bellinelli. That's good. He's 5 for 9.
And it's been about that execution offensively. I mean, they have been superb.
Yeah, and it's been a team game, a number of contributions. Guys staying focused. That's why the league continues to grow.
Now here's Anderson. He has 6. Pass to Caspi. Fires the 3. Forbes with the rebound.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
He kicks it to Bellinelli. Pass to Forbes. Anderson against Bellinelli. Shot clock at 5. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Just increasing their advantage. And right now, they're in a zone on both ends.
Oh, that's why you see them flexing a little bit. They're feeling good about how they've dominated.
Timeout called, the Grizzlies. Last season, the Grizzlies' offensive numbers plummeted. One area where they excelled, though, the free throw line.
Yeah, shot a very high percentage from the charity stripe. Didn't get there as much as they would have liked, partly because they lack shot creators.
And looking now at the numbers for Caspi, how last month turned out for him, he's putting up 6 points a night, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And you know, he'd love a bigger role, but he's trying to prove himself in the minutes he's getting right now.
Yeah, you're right, but he's putting in the work, and the results have been okay. He just needs to keep believing in himself.
Here's Selden. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game. To halt the run, the Grizzlies with another miss. San Antonio leading by 19 points. Forbes the pass to Medu. Here's Bellinelli. Slides through for his 7th basket in 11 tries.
And everything they're attempting is going in. Tremendous run here in the third.
Well, I don't know what they talked about at halftime, but they found a weakness in the defense.
Ooh, a forceful finish from the big fella.
Well, with a player for that size, you'd think he'd make the highlight reel more often.
Well, he will on this dunk. I mean, he's saving them for the big moments.
And the Spurs making a change here. Pondexter's checked in.
One shot.
And that one misses. Well, with Kawhi Leonard gone, a new era for the Spurs. Even with the addition of DeMar DeRozan, San Antonio looks to be entering their most significant rebuild in decades.
Yeah, but at least they were able to get a star in DeRozan. Now, I would call it more of a reload than a rebuild for the Spurs. Still a lot of talent to work with on that roster.
So it's the Grizzlies now, following the bucket by the Spurs.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
And Walker throws it down.
And that pattern continues, guys. Another heat check, another log on the fire.
Oh, I know this feeling. They're in that special zone where you feel untouchable. They haven't missed in a while.
Anderson kicks to Harrison. Lobbed up there for Anderson, and Anderson slams it in.
And the pass there floated it up to the precise spot it needed to be.
And no messing around on the finish. He powers it through. Now here's Walker. Looking at his numbers, he averages a bit over 9 points a game. Forbes the pass to Walker. Over Caspi. They get the rebound. Pondexter, the stupendous finish in traffic. Pondexter's got 5 points so far.
Oh, great production on the interior right now. 8 straight from inside.
Harrison kicks to Selden. Pass to Caspi. Here's Selden, guarded by Walker. Ripped away. To the paint. It's tipped. And it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. And a look now at the San Antonio Spurs' upcoming schedule. They'll begin a road trip starting in Indiana, going up against the Pacers. And then on Saturday, they'll be playing against LaMarcus Aldridge and the Milwaukee Bucks.
And looking at the schedule, it isn't ideal in terms of the upcoming games with the amount of quality teams they're going to be playing, but it's also a good chance for you to get some confidence and really see just how good you are.
And it's Harrison with the ball for the Memphis Grizzlies. After this one, they take on the Clippers at the Staples Center. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip. Rebounded by the Spurs.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Yeah, that won't go on the stat sheet. Close to getting the block, but really it had the same effect.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantages they hold in this game.
Selden can't hit. One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
Now here's Walker. Kicks it to Bellinelli. Clock at 4. This one for 3. And that one is off.
He hasn't had anywhere near the same touch he had in the first half. 0 3-pointers in this half compared to 3 in the first.
Here's Anderson, poked away. Bellinelli with it. 17 points in the game. And now the Grizzlies, fast break. On up the court. A nice shot by Anderson. Anderson's got 10 points in the game.
Good movement there, and the lead pass was right where it needed to be.
Now here's Walker. Now the pass to Bellinelli. Back to Walker. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pass to Bellinelli. From deep three-point range, it's rebounded by Memphis. There's a minute 47 left in the third quarter, and that one's good. Harrison.
I like to see them getting the ball down low and then getting a quality shot.
San Antonio leading by 23. Now Walker. Here is Forbes. He kicks to Walker. From downtown, connects from three-point range. Walker's got 7 points here in this quarter. The Grizzlies have gone 6 of 14 since halftime. A little cold from the field. Harrison passes to Caspi. The dish to Anderson. Back to Caspi.
Spurs foul. Lonnie Walker. That's his first personal foul.
This is his first free throw of the game.
Omri Caspi. 2 shots.
Two shots.
First one falls for him.
And they came out of the locker room after halftime with a much more physical approach than what we saw in that first half.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Pirtle, he's checked in for Medu. Chris Middleton comes in for Quincy Pondexter. DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for Marco Bellinelli. And Eric Bledsoe subbed in for Bryn Forbes. And he can't hit the second. Last year, C-Webb, the Grizzlies really had a hard time getting good looks.
Only 3 teams had a worse field goal percentage. Now, they lost their starting point guard for most of the year, but at some point, someone else has to step up.
Now, here is Pirtle. There's the steal. Here's Temple, guarded by Walker. Temple finds Conley. Here is Caspi. Pass to Green. Back to Caspi. 4 on the shot clock. Count it. Caspi's got his second bucket of the night.
And look how gracefully Caspi is through the contact, just bouncing off the defender and finishing off the bucket in style.
Outside DeRozan. Passes to Bledsoe. Launches it. And that one released in time, but no good. And so it's San Antonio in very good shape with a 23-point lead at the end of the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding, amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. And we'll be back with you shortly. And let's take this opportunity now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And he may not be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the two-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or two when he needs to.
Yeah, no need for hero ball there. I mean, you just need to make the right basketball play. Outstanding dish that time.
And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. They've got Pirtle, DeRozan out there at Bledsoe. Then it's Chris Middleton, and it's Gasol at the 5 roaming the paint. That's the San Antonio 5. Now here's DeRozan. The fader. Brooks grabs the board.
Defensively, they could have done better. That's an open look he'd like to have back.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Chris Middleton. That'll be his second foul of the game. Not too long ago, C-Webb, triple-doubles were widely celebrated. Now you see much more of them all over the league. What's been the change there, do you think?
I think the change has been the style of play and the removal of the big man. being that there are no longer a slew of 7-footers in there rebounding, guards can come in there and do some amazing things in rebounding. And I'm amazed with Westbrook coming in and rebounding over the 7-footers. You also have better spacing, and so if I'm a one-on-one player, I get past my guy. I can trust it that if I throw it to a wide-open shooter now, because of the way that we've drawn the defenses in, there may be a few more open looks. And so I still respect it. I still respect the energy, the focus, the fact that you have to be all over the floor to do it. But, you know, besides the fact that there's longer threes taken, or besides the fact that there's more small lineups, I still think it's a feat to be respected, even though we're seeing an increase in the now.
Now here's DeRozan, following the miss by Michael Conley. Wasted no time on that one. DeRozan's got 5 points now this quarter.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
And you see he's not worried about what's on the scoreboard. He just wants to go ham each possession.
Now here's Conley, and finished off by Conley.
The shifty nature of Conley, Greg, I mean, he uses it so well when he sees a lane open up.
Bledsoe kicks to DeRozan. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Gasol's shot is good. That gives him a double-double in this one. 11 points and 10 rebounds. And it's Conley with the ball for the Memphis Grizzlies. They kick it out to Green. Hands it from downtown.
I love the awareness. Conley is adept at reading the defense and realizing when his guys are uncovered.
Right side, DeRozan. Over Brooks. Misses off the left iron. The Grizzlies have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Outside, Green. Back to Brooks. Here's Temple. DeRozan defending. Fires from deep. And again, it's Memphis with the 3.
Excellent at realizing when to pull the trigger. Conley's outside shot is so dangerous.
Bledsoe passes to DeRozan. Kicks it to Gasol. Every once in a while, we hear about the brotherhood of the NBA. See, Webb, when you hear that term, what does it mean to you?
It means it's the truth. When I got to the NBA as a rookie, the thing that amazed me the most was that I was already part of a fraternity. There was no having to be kind of welcomed in. You are welcomed in once you're part of the NBA. Guys want to see you do well. Right. Not against them, not against their team, but guys want to see you do well because they know the work, the effort, the sacrifice that it takes to get to this level. And that's a really refreshing feeling, knowing the guys got your best interest as long as it isn't against them that night.
Yeah, great perspective on that topic. Catching up on the changes for Memphis. Yvonne Rabbs checked in for Marshawn Brooks. Temple comes in for Shelvin Mack. And it's Mike Conley in for Carter. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've got about 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Tries a 3. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Memphis has gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. And Temple kicks to Green. Back to Temple. Clock at 6. Outside, Green. Three-pointer. Rebounded by the Spurs. Middleton's got 6 rebounds here tonight. The pass to Bledsoe. From the arc. The rebound by Rabb. Rabb's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Brooks. Stolen by Bledsoe. Down low. To end the cold streak. And the bucket is good. 3-point play chance here for him.
He's giving them a nice lift this quarter. The shots are falling for him.
That's his 3rd person, the team's 3rd.
One shot.
And the free throw, no good. And it comes to playing the role of villain in the eyes of many NBA fans. You know, you've got LeBron going to Miami, Durant leaving OKC, going to Golden State. C-Webb is having someone to root against good for the league. It seems to build some passion in sports for sure.
I mean, there can never be a hero without a villain, even if that villain is temporary for one season. So one of the great things about the NBA is that our off-season normally is just as exciting as the main season because of the trades and who's going where and the changing of allegiances, of alliances. I mean, so I definitely love all the movement. And you know, the great thing is you're never going to agree with what any player does 100% the whole time. So I love seeing the changes in the league and having someone to root against. I think it's good for the fan soul to have somebody that you can honestly root against.
That's fun.
Yeah, nice, strong finish there. Nearly a three-point opportunity.
2 shots, gentlemen. 2.
Shooting for San Antonio, DeMar DeRozan. Taking 2 shots.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
The first free throw is good. Quincy Pondexter, he's checked in for Chris Middleton. And Memphis also making a switch. Selden's checked in. So he picks up just 1 from the line that time. Last year, the NBA moved the trade deadline to before the All-Star break, C-Webb. Did you like that decision?
It caused teams to make trade decisions much sooner, and I like that. But I don't like the fact that maybe if, let's say, I'm a fan of Utah Jazz, and you trade the player that we love so much, and he's an all-star, and I can't root for him as a Utah Jazz fan. So as a fan, it gets a little bit tricky because that's still my player, and I want to celebrate with this guy at the all-star break, but maybe I can't. But I think that what it does is it makes the teams much more competitive because no longer can you sit back and wait and have the time you could before to think as much as you could. Now you have to make a decision on who your team is, the identity, and do you want to get better now or take the risk now? And I think it's put some teams on the hot seat, and I like seeing teams on the hot seat having to make decisions quickly.
Here's Selden. And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a three-point play chance here for him.
Yeah, how about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
Bryn Forbes, he's checked in for San Antonio. Anderson, he's checked in for Memphis.
One shot.
And so it's Bledsoe. He brings it up for the San Antonio Spurs. Pass to Pirtle. He kicks it to Forbes. Outside DeRozan. C-Webb, a big rule change. Defenders have to give jump shooters space to land. Your thoughts on that?
Great. Thank you. Think about if a guy is hot and you can't stop him, you should not be able to embellish with the rules by sliding your foot up under a guy. If we all remember, I believe that San Antonio was up a couple of years ago on Golden State at home in Game 1, and Pachulia inadvertently put his foot up under Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi was injured. You have to give shooters space to come down. You can't be thinking about that on the way down. We don't want players injured or hurt in this game because of a lack of paying attention to detail, and I think this rule really helps it. Defenders have done it for years. It could be viewed as dirty, but I'm glad the NBA did something about it. I'm very happy about it. And check this out. We're going to see a lot of guys knocking down even more threes now.
Shot clock at 2. Basket counts. DeRozan's got 10 points here in the second half.
Wow, what a sensational quarter from him. And as long as they have this lead, I keep going to him again and again and again and again.
Now here's Anderson. The tray. And that one's good. Selden.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
A lot of times your defense is your offense is your defense. This is poor decision-making right here. You can't let them have that shot. Also might have been a lack of effort.
And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Both teams will make substitutions.
Team Smith.
Shooting one.
Pro basketball is one of the few sports where awards are league-wide, C-Web, and not divided by conference. I wonder if the NBA should consider giving out separate awards, for the East and the West.
Kev, I don't know about Eastern and Western Conference, but I do believe that there should be an offensive MVP. I do believe there should be a difference between MVP and maybe the best player in the league, because how do we define some of these things? So I do think we can tinker with some of the awards, but East and West, I'm not really sure with. I think it should always be about the best out of the total number of teams and conferences.
Good perspective. Here is Forbes. This one for three. Good on the three-point shot.
And piling on to that big lead, we know he has the range late on the defensive reaction.
You can't break down. Not now. Defensively, at this point, you're already too far in the hole.
And so it's Memphis with it, following the three-pointer by San Antonio. And out of bounds as the Spurs gain possession. San Antonio's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Outside, Walker. And Forbes kicks to Pondexter. Pass to Walker. Takes the three. Green with the rebound. Green's got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active.
He's trying to help him add to this lead, but he just can't find his touch.
Here is Forbes, covered by Conley. There's Walker with the three. It doesn't go for him. And it's Memphis the other way. Here's Harrison. From outside, off the mark. And San Antonio shooting has been terrific. 54% on the game. Walker the pass to Cunningham. And Forbes kicks to Walker. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And that one, good.
Almost any player left that wide open is going to bury that shot. This is the league. That's poor defensive work.
Pass to Selden. We've got 1:48 left in the fourth quarter. From 11 feet away, the rebound by the Spurs. Here is Forbes. C-Web, there was a time when athletes spoke up about societal issues and they were simply told to, just stick to sports. That is no longer the case.
Basketball was built on players speaking their mind. The one thing about the game of basketball, whether you're from Serbia like my friend Vladi or you're from Detroit like me, it's an urban game. And you cannot leave the problems of urban society just because you were blessed with the talent to play basketball. And so many of us speak up on societal issues. Just because we made it doesn't mean that our friends and family are out of those situations. We're not in a bubble in which we don't see how those issues affect us, our family, or our friends. And so just because we are blessed with basketball abilities, sporting abilities, does not mean that we're exempt from the problems in society. And if we have a platform that can speak out, why not? And I'm very proud proud of what guys in the league has done, whether it's LeBron James and his scholarship program, or whether it's Chris Paul and others, or Steve Kerr speaking up for societal issues. For me, it's refreshing, but it also is in the lineage of the greats that started this game in basketball, speaking up for the voiceless.
And the wide open shot from Green. Off the mark, and the drought continues. Here is Forbes. And it's a defensive 3-second violation.
Technical foul.
One shot, mind the lanes.
And the technical free throw is good. Five seconds left in the fourth quarter. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Eric Bledsoe. Eric, a strong performance tonight. What's been the difference?
We're getting out in transition, trying to get defensive stops, and everybody's just playing their game.
And it showed tonight, Eric. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.